Okay, we're dusting off an old series here, which is my late night hang that I do on channel number 2. I've not done it in a long time, over a year. Aaron and I were just talking about this. And I don't know how many people are going to show up here. I'm waiting for people to show up on the chat. There's Matt. A lot of new subscribers. What's up, Rick? Jamie? This channel has had, 10,000 subscribers this week. It's a lot of new people. Welcome. Should hit about 200,000 subs, honestly, tonight. This is something I used to do, this channel. For those of you that are new to Rick Beato 2, I started this channel, I'd say probably 4 months after I started my main channel. So this is really from 2016. People are like, what is this channel here? Angry Shoebox. I forgot about this channel. So this channel I started, and I only told the people that followed me at the time, which was probably about maybe 50,000, 35,000 people, something like that. I only told them about it. And I would come on live, usually around 9, 10 o'clock, and I would go on, sometimes an hour, hour and a half, things like that. And I would do a kind of a jam. I'd like to think that this is a jam. And I would play music, talk about stuff, work on ideas for the first channel. This is the channel where I came up with what makes this song great. A lot of my series were found through me kind of improvising over here, doing this. And I used to work, people would help me brainstorm topics, brainstorm titles for videos. I changed the title on my Sinatra video about 10 times today. Always makes the video kind of do weird things on the first day and everything. You got to kind of settle. Never sure what these videos should be called. After 1100, it's very difficult to come up with the right titles. You want to have the title reflect the video as much as possible, but if you have a couple different things that are going on in the video, like the song, the Frank Sinatra song I did in my video today was really about my dad's favorite song. My dad had a couple favorite songs. One of them is Laura. Another one is called Wave by Antonio Carlos Jobim. My dad was a huge Jobim fan. What's up, Rob? I see all the old schoolers on here now. All my old friends on here. So Wave, if my dad saw a version of Wave by anyone that he liked, that he was a fan of, doesn't matter who it was, he would buy it. He'd buy the whole album based on that. And I have like a million versions of Wave. For those of you that don't know Wave is an Antonio Carlos Jobim piece, song. Is it a song? Yeah, they're songs because they have lyrics. And I've got versions of everybody playing it. Frank Sinatra sang it. There's a record with Jobim that I'm going to actually make a video about. This video didn't take off like I thought it would, but you know, a lot of these things, my Yu Zhi Wang video, how many of you watched that? That video came out last week. It started off really slow. Like a lot of these videos, anytime I try to change up, and I always tell other YouTubers, don't be afraid to go into new territories. Now, me going into classical music, there's nothing new about me talking about classical music, classical piano. My video, for example, with Martha Argerich was a huge video last year. Whenever I did it maybe a year and a half ago or so. It's a 1 million view video. But when you kind of reach out there to these people that are fans, YouTube, the way the algorithm works is that it just connects you with people because the algorithm is the audience. Okay, so there's people that search for Frank Sinatra that don't follow my channel. And I just make videos on whatever things I'm interested in. And that's kind of what I've always done. I see a lot of people have watched my Sinatra video. I love Frank Sinatra. And so that's why I made the video, regardless of whether it does well or not. I don't want to say I do the videos for me, but I do the videos for me, basically. Earlier today, I had Chuck Rainey in here. For those of you that know bass, some people have mentioned that I was having a bass player. So I interviewed bass legend Chuck Rainey. Now, Chuck plays on well over 1,000, I don't know, 1,800 albums or something like that. Insane amount. The ones that you might know are like, he plays on Asia, Steely Dan. He plays on Royal Scam, every track. He plays on Pretzel Logic. He plays on Gaucho. He plays on, I think, a couple tracks on the Nightfly record. And Chuck was so fun. We sat right here and we had such a good time. Oh, what a great storyteller he is. I didn't have to say anything. But what's fun for me is to interview people that have played together. So Bernard Purdy. So not only did I interview Bernard on my channel, but I interviewed Bernard. Thank you, Jim. I interviewed Bernard at an autism benefit for my friend Alan up in Hartford, Connecticut. This is about 3 months ago or so. I interviewed Bernard in front of an audience, probably 100 people or so, and Chuck came up on the screen. So there were probably 7 little interludes that we had, and all these famous drummers came on, celebrating Bernard. Everyone you can think of, every famous drummer, Steve Gadd, everybody, Steve Jordan, you name it, every famous drummer is on there. And some other players like Chuck Rainey came on there. So I was like, okay, who do I know that knows Chuck? I knew that Chuck lived in Dallas. But my friend Alan knows Chuck a little bit. But Greg Bissonette, my dear friend, has known Chuck for years. And Greg connected me with Chuck. And we just had a great time. I'm excited about about that. So I've interviewed now from all the session people, Lee Scalar, Chuck Rainey, Ron Carter, Victor Wooten. I've got many more to do, but Chuck was absolutely a pleasure, and it was so interesting. Helium Road, what's up, Helium? Good to see you. Roberta, yes, Roberta. I interviewed Ron. On Zoom, but I'd like to do one in person. So, so hopefully that will happen soon. But the Ron Carter interview was one of my favorite ones. And I'll do another video with Lee. We did a video on Zoom, but Lee, when I'm out in LA, I will do another interview with Lee. Lee is a dear friend, and he is just what a legend. These guys, Chuck, they're the nicest people. Oh my God, they are the nicest people, and when you hear Chuck talk about it, it's funny because he just downplays the fact that he's on all these famous songs. Aretha Franklin. You talk about Chuck Berry. He told the story. He told the story where he had a 5-string bass and he was playing with Chuck Berry, and he said at the end of some tune that ended in C, Chuck played a low C, and he said that Chuck Rainey played a low C, and he said Chuck Berry, who was, if you did something wrong, Chuck said he would get all over you. And he turned to him and he said, something like, nice. Hearing that low C on there. I just sing it like a Chuck Berry tune with a low C at the very end of it. That is really, that is very, very funny. So you gotta, this will be definitely gonna be cool. Kurt Rosenwinkel, I see in the chat here. Now, he's not in the chat, but somebody said Kurt Rosenwinkel, and I talked to Kurt the other day, and about coming in, and what I want to do, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, now don't forget we are on my Rick Beato 2 channel now. If you don't subscribe, hit the subscribe button now. Thank you, Randall. Rory, you're in Dublin. You're 5 minutes away from the Edges house. Please ask him to do a video with me. Oh my gosh. Man, I don't know why I can't get those guys. Somebody's Angry Shoebox. You don't know what Chuck Berry tune has a low C in it. No Chuck Berry tunes have a low C, but Chuck Rainey was playing live with him and played a low C. I'm still working on my Keith Jarrett video, my interview with Keith, and the reason that it's taken a long time is because there's a lot of video that I shot, maybe 3 hours worth, something like that, and I'm trying to pull it together where I give a historical background on Keith before the interview, because I think that there's always people that will watch these videos that don't know anything about the artist. Keith Jarrett, doesn't matter who it is or how well known we think they are or should be. Keith, there's young people that might not know who Keith is, but not everybody knows everyone. It's funny. I went to the grocery store with my daughter Layla tonight, and this guy comes in. We're coming down the aisle, and this guy recognized me, and he was like, "Rick, I can't believe it. Do you remember I met you here back in 2015 before I started my YouTube channel?" And he said, "Man, I can't believe it. I think I'm going to run into you." And Layla's looking for candy for Valentine's Day, and he said, "I've been following your channel since the beginning." And then we talked for a few minutes, and then I'm still standing there waiting for Layla, and another guy comes down with his daughter who's looking for Halloween candy, and he says, "Oh, I'm a big fan of your channel," and talked to him for a second. But Layla's like, "Mom, Dad gets recognized by people twice at the supermarket," and my daughter Lennon says, she's like, "Wait, people recognize you at the supermarket?" And I said, "Yeah, that's weird." And I said, "It is kind of weird, actually." No, it's actually not weird. It's cool. And the people are so nice. Anytime that I meet people out anywhere, it's really, really great. Getting back to Keith, I diverge. Getting back to Keith Jarrett. So you don't know who's going to watch these videos, and I don't want someone to watch their introduction. I want them to be introduced to Keith Jarrett before we talk. So that's So there needs to be historical background on this. I did it with Frank tonight. Now, you think Frank Sinatra sold 160 million records. Everybody knows who Frank Sinatra is. And I did a little intro about him. You know, people are like, you didn't say, a couple of the comments, you didn't say what makes Frank Sinatra great. What are you talking about? I said it all in the introduction. So that's why this, for the people that are out there waiting for the Keith interview, that's why it's taken so long. So it's just kind of, it's really the other part, getting the what we call the assets for these videos. The assets would be other video clips, things like that help tell the story of the tell the narrative along with the verbal narrative. There you need to have the performance narrative too, and there's a lot of great videos on Keith that will show people kind of the breadth of his musical genius, because it's so it's just so incredible. A couple of other things here. Let's see. People that ask the same questions all the time. Somebody says Matteo Mancuso. Of course, I know him. I know Ren. I know a lot of the people that people have asked me about in the chat. I'm going back. I thought there was a couple other things in here. Billionaire Reunion live stream. How long since he played Sunny Sunday Afternoon? Wow, probably 20 since 2001. What is that? 22 years ago. Sunny Sunday Afternoon is a song, a Billionaire song. I might even play it tonight. But I want to play some music. We're going to listen to some stuff now, because that's what we do on this channel. We talk, we listen. So when I was in grad school in Boston, I would go to the listening lab, is what they called it, at New England Conservatory. And I would take out albums, all different kinds of music. Brahms, Shostakovich, Barber, classical things, jazz records, you name it. Things I just didn't have access to. We have a listening library. This is, some of them would be LPs and some would be CDs. Now, this is 1984, 85. I don't even know if, now, honestly, I don't know if any of them were CDs, because CDs really came out about 83 or so. So I was there from 84 to 86. So there would be some CDs left later on, but they would have you'd take out albums and you just sit there, you put on headphones, and you sit at these listening stations and you would listen to music. So I wanted to make a video on I want to talk about this. Shostakovich did a series of preludes. He has this preludes and fugues, Opus 87. And there's one in particular that I really love. And it's and I was trying to think of the record that it was from. A lot of people play it very slow, this particular one. It's number 4 in E minor, but there's a pianist named Roger Woodward that did a recording in 1975, and I couldn't remember. I remembered Roger, and I was looking for it the other day. Then it just popped into my brain, and I found this recording of it, and it's on Spotify. And I love I love how he uses the pedal. I love the mood of this. I think this is really beautiful. I'm going to play it. And it just transports me. So this is Shostakovich, uh, Opus 87, number 4 in E minor. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, it's not playing. Hold on. Let me check something here. Should be playing. So that was the prelude there. So these are so it's a prelude and a fugue. That's the one in E minor. I think that is absolutely beautiful. Most players that you'll hear, most performances are far slower than that. Keith Jarrett's is a little bit faster. I can't play Keith's on here because it's on ECM records and this would get blocked. Although who knows, this might get blocked anyways. But that is absolutely beautiful to me. It's it just, when I heard that, it made a big impression on me. Just wow, blew me away. Um, so so I was thinking about this thing that I talked about that I made my live stream about last weekend about what to do with my older content. Um, and the general consensus about it um, was to go and this is what we've done. So Aaron helped downloaded a CSV file from YouTube, which you get backend file. So it has all your video titles, all the URLs for them, all the tags that went with them, basically all the analytics that go with them, everything that was in the description, and it gives you this big file. So like I said, I've got over 1,100 videos in the main channel. So it's like, how do you organize these videos so that people can see my older content? That because YouTube took away the ability to search from oldest. Now, since I made that video, I've heard from people at YouTube that they are bringing it back. I'm not the only person that complained about it. A lot of YouTubers that have a lot of videos, like Mr. Beast, for example, 730 some odd videos on his main channel. And people want to go back and look at the early videos. And if you can't, it's a pain to scroll through. I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up my YouTube channel here, and I'm show you in a window kind of what it looks like here. I'm signed in. So these are my videos. They're not my live streams. The live streams would be over here. These are the regular videos here, okay? Now, okay, so live stream. So I do 3 videos a week. The live streams are completely separate. So there's one a week since, and that's not counting this channel. And this doesn't even have anything to do with this channel because there's many videos on this channel. I'm not even counting this in my 1,100 videos. Okay, so this is totally separate. So the so this particular view of the channel, okay, I'm going to start scrolling down. So you got groups of 4 here, and it just goes. It just keeps scrolling. If you're looking here and you say, oh, I don't know that video there. One Hit Wonders of the 70s, is performing with a backing track cheating. My Thomas Newman interview, which people should watch. My Jeff Beck, a lot of people watch that. My tribute to my friend Peter Smart. This is hard to talk about, who passed away. Then there's Why Kids Need Music Lessons. That's actually me and Dylan here. I think that people don't realize that's my video, and they haven't watched it probably because of that. Well, it's like 500,000 views, so people realize it's my video, I guess. 13 musical ideas that will shock you. The element of surprise in music. This video here with Sting is a great video, I think, and it's close to 1 million views. So if you get a chance, check that video out. Let's see if we can get it up to 1 million. And I'm going to say it again, subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Keep going down. My interview with Ted Gioia, which I really enjoyed. Ted is amazing. I brought Ted in here to the studio to do an interview because I'm a big fan of him. I have an interview with Animals as Leaders here, the entire band, and there's very few interviews with them. My top 10 Metallica riffs of all time. My John Scofield interview, definitely a must-see. I did a breakdown of Don't Fear the Reaper, which is actually what makes this song great. And I have Buck Dharma, the lead singer who wrote the song, in there. Greatest song that went nowhere, that was a Muddy Magnolias song. My video with Adam Neely that we did at Berkeley in New York City. Song from the 1500s blows me away here. That was the song by John Dowland, the Earl of Essex Galliard, which was a piece that I come back to, kind of like the Shostakovich, although I didn't come back to that. The weirdest pop intro of all time, this video here. Chuck Rainey played on that. He played on that intro. Let's see here. What's some of these other ones? My Sting interview, top 10 AC/DC riffs ranked. I need to bring back metal on my channel again soon. It's been too long since I've done any metal videos, but I will. I did a video with Mike Dawes, who's awesome. I love Mike. He's an incredible player. And everybody was touring through town here. Tim Henson is here. Phil X, my dear friend Phil, was here. Oh, that's a great video. Phil plays some Greek songs on the acoustic guitar and just rips it up. I'll tell you a video that I didn't think did well, that didn't perform well, that I think should have. It's my top 20 pop punk songs of the 90s. Now, maybe that's not a lot of people's thing or something, but I really, I thought that my buddy Chip and I did this. This was a very fun video to make.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beatos. performance I was able to see in 1997 at the
So
40
Chick,
watt alongside
Chip,
Unwritten Law, who you heard earlier.
Check it out.
How deep is your love? How deep is the ocean? How deep is the sea? How deep is my love? You're miles away.
Pick drag.
You're miles away. You're miles away.
Are also from California.
So Chip was in this band Left Front Tire that I produced. I've known Chip forever. This was a very fun video to make. And it was, we did this, what's funny about this, which I don't know if it works very well, but we did this with a white screen behind us. I did it as an experiment to see how it would look. What do you think about that? It's kind of weird because having white hair, it's not good with a white background.
No one ever be the same. Will it put me down? Things always change. 5 more years ago, not like sometimes. Sleeping level. No one ever be the same.
Coming in at number 14 is this was a fun video to make. Oh man, I love this. I love this video. But the what do you guys think of the white background? Anybody like the looks like a Vanity Fair video, Matt says. That's funny. White is good as a background. White background looks like a commercial or something. It's like you're trying to sell iPods. I thought to myself, let's do something different on this. Let's put the amps right behind us. So we're playing. We have the amps. We have the amps right behind us. We're actually playing live, just Chip and I. And we go through all these different things, all these different pop punk songs from the 90s that were the basket case. Oh, Chip is great. Oh, hard downstrokes. Chip's having no problem with this. So I thought this was cool. I thought this was cool because of this. I thought the background was an interesting thing to do here. It's the only time I've tried that. I'll tell you another video that did not do well that I thought was a really good video that has a terrible title and thumbnail. It's called "What Are the Chances? 1 Degree of Separation," which doesn't tell you anything about that video. But it's a story about Lyle Mays. Lyle Mays was the keyboardist with Pat Metheny. And it was a story about meeting Lyle on October 10th, 1981. And I think it's a great story. And the chess story, Mike saw that. Somebody saw it. Let's see here. So, great songs by artists people hate. I don't like that title. That actually is about the song Amsterdam by Coldplay. No, I don't. I love Coldplay, right? Well, I love the first 2 records. I love the second record. That record is really, Rush of Blood to the Head is amazing. I think every song is excellent on it. And the last song is called Amsterdam. If you don't know it, you should check it out. And people that say, Rick, you should start a third channel. It's like, no, they should figure out how to make these videos searchable. I don't need to start a third channel. I have a second channel. I have an interview with Adam Franklin, the lead singer of Swerve Driver, that I love. I love Swerve Driver. Massive fan. If you don't know Swerve Driver, you should check him out. Let's see here. How did Beethoven hear music? It was kind of my approximation of losing what it would be like to lose your hearing from the top down, like Beethoven. It appears what happened to him. So that is a fascinating. If you like Swerve Driver, check out the interview. These things just keep going. I mean, this is just this. There's 1,100 videos here. Crazy. Some of these videos, what is Hungarian minor? I'm not sure. What is it? Ah, yeah, one of my mode videos here where I talk about all the different triads. This is a music
4 minutes
theory
and
video.
45 seconds. You can hear the piece in its entire. In C dominant mode is going to be the C super Locrian, or the alter dominant, which is the 7th mode of the
Thank you,
melodic
GDK.
minor scale. In this case,
Appreciate
it would be
that.
the D flat melodic minor scale.
So these kind of videos are videos that I did on my channel, that I've always done. And I don't do as much anymore, but they would be where I present things like a particular scale, like the Hungarian minor scale, or Hungarian minor mode, which is a mode of the harmonic minor scale. And I'm sorry, the mode, it's a mode of the double harmonic major scale. And I talk about what's in the scale, and
That I wrote a piece specifically for this episode, and if you want to skip ahead to composing in parallel major and minor,
parallel major
I wrote
minor
a piece
keys.
specifically for this episode, and if you can hear the piece in its entire minor. What do I mean? Like minor scale. Think about this diminished major.
I go through all the different triads and seventh chords and everything.
Beautiful sound. And
I love these kind of videos.
And F sharp. So what are the notes that are different? Well, beautiful sound right there.
These are some really dark things little pieces that I wrote to demonstrate these different scales. This was a parallel major versus minor experiment, is what I called it. And this is the thing that I really built my channel off of, were these kind of videos and stuff. And this is honestly why I have a channel, is because of this. Because hold on. Okay, there we go. When I started my channel, these were things that I hadn't talked about in over 20, well, from 1992 to 2016, the stuff that I did on this particular, on this channel. And and this stuff was fun for me to do. And I really, the reason that I wanted to make this channel and do this instead of producing anymore was that it kind of completed the arc of my musical life. And it reconnected me with things that I did, that I learned, the music that I was really, that got me into, just like that Shostakovich piece, that these things I was passionate about way back. And this was a way to do that. And then also do, and also make videos on contemporary production, or things like how would John Bonham sound today, quantized. I did that video 3 years ago, and I quantized a John Bonham beat. Or the dark side of major, where I was I pretended to be one of the what is it? The Night King? Who's the guy from Game of Thrones? You see this here, the dark side of major? This is another one of my scale videos. So, anyways, this stuff is the stuff that also was also the reason that I developed my ear training course. This was the reason that I developed, not the reason I developed my Beato book, but really I developed my Beato book so that I wouldn't have to keep writing things down when I was teaching at Ithaca College. And I just got, the stuff that I was teaching people weren't in books back then. So I figured if I took my time and I wrote this stuff down, I wouldn't have to. I could put it in a book, and people could, my students could buy it at the beginning of the semester, a bound book that I had Xeroxed. And yeah, and I just didn't have to hand things out anymore. I just got sick of it, honestly. I got sick of writing the same stuff. Why do you want to write the same stuff over and over? Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I was going to have eventually. DJ Green Arrow, you wrote your third act of life by creating your channel. There you go, my friend. Good to see you. So I never thought that I would have what I have now, my interactive book. You couldn't imagine in 1988 when I was sitting at this place, Simeon's, where I was writing my book. I'd go there after I finished teaching for the day, and I'd eat dinner at this restaurant that was on the corner of the Commons in Ithaca. And I would bring a little backpack with my Beato book. I'd have music paper there, and it'd be noisy in the bar. But I would eat, and I'd be working on the thing. So I knew the people there, that the waiters and the whole wait staff there, because I would play at Sunday gigs there. So I would sit there and I would just sing the stuff in my head, right, using my pitch memory. And I would say, okay, here's an example of the Dorian mode or something. This is how you describe the Dorian mode in a linear fashion or something. Or this is how you use the same motif over and over different chords, and how you transpose it. I might use something like a minor 9 arpeggio or something like that, right? And do G minor 9 arpeggio on G minor 7, and then move it up to B flat minor 9, and do that over a C dominant chord, which would give you like a C sus4 flat 9 sound, okay? So these are things, and I would write out the line, I would think in my head and stuff, and then eventually, 325 pages later, I had my book. Well, now, how many years later is it? From 88 or 89? I think 89 I finished it. So it's 23, and 11 is 34 years ago. And now I have a video course that has video lectures, have audio examples of everything you click on in it. And I don't just have that, I've got my ear training course. And one of the things about my ear training course, I taught remedial ear training. This was the hardest class. These are for people, I've mentioned it on here before, but this was for people that were failing. Thank you, Clay. These are for people that were failing out of school. If you can't pass, sight singing is what it was, the name of the class. It was basically ear training. If you cannot pass it, you can't get your degree. And you had 2 years to get out of sight singing. I think it was 2 years. So I would have people in that were in the that were in danger of not being able to graduate with a music degree. And so a lot of the strategies for ear training that I developed from teaching that class, which is why I created this ear training course with Aaron, and I have it. It's one of the 4 things that I sell on my website, right? And that's it. I took off all the other stuff, the mugs, and not that there's anything wrong with those things, but I wanted to have the my musical courses on there, and you can purchase them. That's how I support my channel. There's a sale going on right now. Mike will probably paste it in here if he's it's my ultimate bundle, 75% off. You can go to rickbeato.com and get it. But that's honestly how I support the channel. That's how I pay Billy. That's how I'm able to go out and do these remote video shoots with Steve Lukather, with Thomas Newman, with Sting, with whoever, all of them. I mean, it takes, you got to fly to these places. You got to rent the studio. You got to hire a video crew with an audio crew. And, usually some of these things, like for my Seattle interviews, it was 5 people on the shoot, I think, something like that. For the Matt Cameron and for the one with Chris Novoselic and with Kim from Soundgarden and Jack Endino. Those videos, to shoot a video with 4 people is quite it's tough. It's a really hard thing to do. So anyways, this is how I have financed my channel from the beginning. Like I said, I don't take advertising. And my signature guitar is money goes to charity. So there you go. That's kind of there's my sales pitch for the for my Beato Ear Training Beginner Guitar, Quick Lessons Pro, and Beato Book Interactive. I always tell people the videos don't get made on their own. You got to sit down and make them. So those of you that followed the channel from the beginning, though, I've said this recently that, and I say this to my friends, that videos that worked on my channel early on, really esoteric videos, just would never work anymore. Not even the, I don't even think that it would, even with 3 point whatever million subscribers, that some of the video topics, especially the early ones, like I have this video, I just had some really weird video. I'm trying to scroll back. There's so many. You have to basically get before the "What Makes This Song Great" videos. Exotic scales, XLs, chromatic polychords, 27,000 views. Musical palindromes and negative harmony. Like, what are these videos about? What is musical gravity? Melodic polyrhythms. Scale wars. Okay, that one has 100,000 views on it. Hungarian minor versus super Locrian. Polychromatics, 106 tones per octave. And I had Dylan on this video. This was Dylan listening to something that was Dylan's just a little kid there.
I've always had an interest in microtonal.
I'm not sure why the okay, let's hear it. This is Dylan listening to these microtones. So I wanted to get his impression on this. This was really, these were videos that that were fascinating for me to play.
It's from video games back in the 90s, like Super Mario.
That has Dylan, just a little kid. Dylan's 15, taller than me now, and just the greatest kid. It's funny to see him on these old videos like that, but just playing him this polychromatic music that it's called, that splits the octave in many into many segments, and it was fascinating to see him react, because people always ask me about that. What's Dylan think about microtones? So forget microtones, check out Polychromatics is the video. If you want to watch one of my old school videos that no one has watched, well, actually, that's not true. 141,000 views. See, I haven't gotten back to these videos forever. Okay, then there's another fun video that I did called The Mother Chord. Check this out. My kids, this was their favorite video because it starts, it's very weird. The intro, they love the intro. They used to love the
Rick
intro.
Beato, today's everything music is called the mother of all chords. In 1921, Fritz Heinrich Klein conceived of the mother chord for his composition entitled Da Maschine. The concept of the chord is based on a 12-tone row that is arranged in a way where chord construction,
So
they're only the chord. If I
check this out.
arrange the chord for a full orchestra, this is what it would sound like. So this is obviously the coolest chord, right? Wrong. The mother chord also has a mother of its own, which is
What an
called
idiot.
the grandmother chord. It was created in 1938 by Nicholas
Right? Wrong.
Some of you might be familiar with his book.
This is
The
my
Synonyms
terrible
and
sense of
Thesaurus
humor.
Scales and melodic patterns. This chord shares all the same alternates. The order of grandmother chord is major 7th, major 2nd, major 6th, major 3rd, perfect 5th, tritone, perfect 4th, minor 6th, minor 3rd, minor 7th, and minor 2nd. This is the second combination of the 1928 possible 12-tone rows that contain all intervals. Here's what it sounds like if played together. If I orchestrated it with a full orchestra, it would sound like this.
Okay, this is so fun. These videos were so fun to make. I remember when I made this video, Dylan walked in and I said, Dylan, you know what this chord is? And he goes, yeah, it's all 12 notes, and walked out. That was it. That's it. He immediately heard that and realized that it was all 12 notes. So, and then these weird things like this ultra mega arpeggios that I did the other day that I talked about. But there's many things here. 4 chords to modernize your sound. I had an interview with Rudy Sarzo, Jordan Rudis. People don't know these things are on my channel. Jeff Berlin, John Petrucci, Victor Wooten, an old interview with Adam Neely, Dennis Chambers, Mark Isham, the film composer, my dear friend Ida Nessen that we'll talk about after. Just tons of stuff. I have one of my first story videos, Fortunes of Hard Work, Why You Should Never Give Up. That was the first of my storytelling videos, really. But these videos were were so fun. God, the thumbnails are just so bad. But it was, I mean, it gets really bad. I didn't realize, don't put your thumbnail, don't put your text over your face. So anyhow, that's my, that's some of the old videos to check out on my channel. Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate that. So yeah, all those old interviews are fascinating to see. The one with Adam Neely, oh my God, Adam looks like he's about 3 years old on it. But my first one was with Steve Vai that I did back, and it was almost 6 years ago. Yeah, those were so fun. My Aunt Penny, right? I did my video with my Aunt Penny over there, did a live stream with my late Aunt Penny. I lost another one of my aunts last week, my Aunt Virginia, my mom's next younger sister. She died at 95. And my Aunt Virginia I spent every summer with growing up. I'd go there for about 6 weeks. I'd spend the entire summer. Usually it'd be me and my sister, one of my sisters. Aunt Virginia and Uncle Bill made my life, made me imagine that they allowed me to do things I could never do because they were able to travel and do things like that. We went to museums. We went to Chicago. We went to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. We traveled all around. We went to the Thousand Islands. I still remember these things like they were yesterday. I remember one time my Uncle Bill, we were out in a boat in this really shallow water in the Thousand Islands, and he had to pull the motor up because the water was getting so shallow, and then he was rowing with a row, and then the row got stuck in the oar got stuck in between a couple of rocks and everything, and the oar is sitting there. We're trying to figure out how to get back to it, and he gets out of the boat and walks over to it and pulls it out, and then we turn the thing around, oh man, those are great times. Uncle Bill and Aunt Virginia. Uncle Bill passed away in 1990. So my Aunt Virginia was out without Uncle Bill until last week. Cedar Point is famous for all the roller coasters. Oh my gosh, that's what we did. That was so fun. Oh my God. Those are great, great times. I miss Aunt Virginia dearly. Anyhow, so those are the things that, this is things that I've been thinking about lately, is how to put together something on my rickbeato.com that is a way to link back to YouTube, that is a way to sort the videos by using tags, and so it'll have the topics. It might be music theory, ear training, or guitar improvisation, or whatever. It might be a couple different tags. You type in the tags and the different videos will come up. And we'll probably, I would imagine maybe we'll have them sorted into years too, because there's many live streams. All the stuff that we were seeing there, like I said, those are just the regular videos. They are not the live streams. And I have many, many live streams. I don't know how many live streams, but about 50 live streams a year, something like that. And David says, you never did a video on why good musicians never retire. Somebody said it's John Williams' birthday today. It's actually I don't think it's today. I thought it was the 10th. I'm going to look it up here. John Williams. And John Williams, somebody said John Williams is 90. He is actually 91. I believe. Let me see here. 91. There it is. February 8th. They're right. He's 91 today. Born 1932. And he's still working. He's working all the time. It's unbelievable. Never, my God, that's 30 years from now for me. I could be doing YouTube for 30 years. Think about that. That'd be great. So that's it for tonight. I did an hour here. This has been great to catch up on the second channel. If you haven't subscribed here, hit the subscribe button. Spylo says, thank you very much. Spider, huge fan of your content, inspired me to try chord progressions in my amateur music, though I don't understand what some of the chord changes really are. That's all right. Just find things that sound good. That's all you got to do. Ron, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Great to see you all. It's fun to be back on here. All right. Well, I will catch up with you guys soon. Take care. Bye.